Chamberlain Sr. So here's what I'm going to do, since Pam so beautifully told the story already. I'm going to cast the actors for this playback story. So a recap, an individual uses his life alert, somewhat startled when the police arrives, and decides that he's not going to open the door. Police try to do some negotiation to get the door open. After some time period, and frustrated, they are able to enter the home, but then things transpire that he basically becomes a victim, and he's later transported to the hospital, where he dies from his injuries. Okay? So in the story, and then we have a police officer over there, right? So, it's so tempting. I want to use everybody for everything. Let's see. So in this story, I am going to have Ashley. You are going to be. Can you state the first name of that person for me? Richard. So Ashley, you're going to be Richard.
Older man.
He was snowed in?
Older man.
Older man, yeah.
His son was like 4.
Yeah. So we're going to say that Richard obviously was a responsible person because he used his life alert. So synopsis, one word for Richard, let's say responsible. Obviously elderly because he's using a life alert system. Okay? And I am going to have myself, Aaron, and Jackie. We are going to be the police officers. Alright? And it's so funny giving Anne something to do. She's being so good tonight. She's not making faces. She's supporting you 100%. And I am going to have Anne, you are going to be the nurse in the hospital that nurses Richard for a time being and then passing away. Okay? So in improvisational theater, I usually don't give more instructions with just that, and I happen to do it. But once we kind of get a story of another story, we do what's called fillers, and that's where we fill in what we feel could have possibly happened in the moments, okay? So, a person called for help, and that's not what he got. Well, let's watch. right, guys. Hopefully tonight will be an easy night.
I hope so.
Not much drama in this crazy white plains and all. There's something coming across the radio.
What we got going on?
Some elderly person who does that crap in that commercial. I've fallen and I can't get up. Stop.
Oh, that.
All right, let's go over here and let's pretend we care.
All right. What that was? I feel better now.
396.
Oh, that's it over there.
I'm just trying to get out.
Okay.
All right.
Sorry.
Knock on the door.
Yeah.
Go.
Knock, knock.
Oh my God, he's old. He can't hear.
Why are they banging like that? What? Let's see what about it. Maybe there's that. I don't understand. I got called for help. Why didn't they?
Yo, what the hell is wrong with you? Open the door! Open the door!
Why are you guys yelling? Why are you yelling? I don't know.
Open the door, dude.
Please, go away. I need help. Okay.
I don't have time for this. Come on, move back. Move back.
Alright.
Oh no. What are they doing? What are they doing?
So what the hell is wrong with you?
I
We
don't
say open the door.
No, I thought I was having a heart attack. Please.
You got me for
I thought I was having a heart attack. No, please. I thought I was having a heart attack.
He's resisting.
Please. No.
You can't
This
resist.
is my store.
Yeah, well, you called us.
No, I know, but I
Hands
thought.
behind your back.
No. I wasn't. I thought I had a heart attack. And I don't know what happened. Please.
Hands behind your back.
No. I didn't do anything wrong.
Flip over.
No.
Look.
I did nothing wrong.
I have to put my knee in this thing.
Put your legs down.
Come on.
What's wrong with this?
Please. I didn't do anything. Help me.
Don't you see we're trying to help you?
Call my son. Call my son. He can tell you I have health problems. Please.
Wait, guys. He's not moving much anymore.
All right, well, let's make it easier.
Let's call the.
Just hold it.
Hey.
Hey,
Yeah, we got an old man here that seems to be
Let me speak to him.
alright.
All right, listen. We knocked on the door very politely and nice, and all of a sudden it looked like this guy had a shotgun when we came in. So we were just trying to protect ourselves, and we were trying to disarm this guy, and then all of a sudden he's on the floor. And so, we're just trying to take care of ourselves and protect ourselves. We didn't know that. All right. Well, yeah, just get the paramedics here soon.
okay, we're here. Come on, I'm gonna need you guys to help out here. We're gonna have to get him. Okay. Okay, Mr. Chamberlain. Can you hear me? Okay. Take it easy. Let's get him and try to get him into the ambulance and into the hospital.
Okay.
Is he dead? I mean, what's going on here?
Well, he's starting to feel better.
Okay.
So he can hear us just a little bit. He can work with us just a little bit. There we
You
go.
need to sit up just a little bit, right? We'll get you into the hospital, and I'm gonna take care of you, okay?
All right.
Okay, let's see if you can just get into, okay, let's get you over. Here we go, okay.
that store. See, we told you we can take the tough stuff there. All right, so you want to see an enactment of cultural differences.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so what we'll do at this point is we'll have all my actors back on the stage. And here's what we'll do. Improv Patrol, we do, we'll have you guys all to line up on the wall. So in Improv Patrol, one of the workshops that we teach is conquering racism. I have always been a very objective person about what happens in life. I grew up in the Deep South. So, you know, once you grow up in the Deep South, you know what racism is all about. At age 15, I was in the fields chopping cotton, like you still see in the movies to this day. So I lived it. Interesting about my life is I never act or behave as what African American people sum up as being black. So I was shunned by black people. And all my life, my best friends were white. All my friends from my childhood all the way up to high school were always white, because black people said, you talk too proper and you act in such a way that that's not what black people do. So they shunned me. White people would say, oh, you act like us, so you're not black. And I would say, no, my skin color is black. So all my life I grew up with that concept of being accepted among my white peers, but they always told me I wasn't black. And then black people told me I wasn't black. And so I grew up all my life with white people. And I would hear my white friends say things that were racist right in front of me. And I would say, guys, you can't say that. And they would say, oh, Christopher, you're not black. And I would say, no, I am black, and don't say that. So what I learned throughout that process is people have different reasons for why they feel the way that they do. Sometimes a white person is not racist. It's just what they've been taught. It's what they've grown up around. It's the expectation that's been given. So they don't mean any harm by what they say. It's just what they know. And then there's racist white people. But also in America, and that's what I'm changing and we're changing in our conquering racism, is America is always saying that white people are racist. They never want to talk about how black people are racist toward white people. And so that's something that has to be discussed, is it isn't all about a white person is always doing something to black people. It's black people doing something to white people too. And we have to talk about that and say, it's an equilibrium here. Now, when we teach a workshop, no white people in this room is allowed to feel under pressure. No black person is allowed to feel under pressure, because none of you here represent anything in a negative light when we do our workshops. So also, we have to talk about other races. Indian, Spanish, Asian, so forth and so on. One concept too, so we do three concepts. White racism against blacks, black racism against whites, and then we do what I call understanding how we can be categorized by our conduct and how we dress. Because oftentimes people get misperceived because they have a certain persona. Okay? So we'll go through all three of those real quick, and we'll show you the process, and we'll cover what you're talking about.
I was just going to say that you would bring up how you
because sometimes you have to laugh at it. You know, I laugh at the fact that black people never accepted me when I was a kid growing up in the South, and that I had to hang out with white people all my life, but then they tell me I'm not black. Sometimes we have to laugh at those things, but here's what's important, and this is what I love about dealing with conquering racism. There is a positive solution, and that's what we teach in our workshop. There is a positive solution. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have the scenario of the car dealership. And Jackie, you remember what you guys, okay? So why don't you guys go ahead and put on your costumes. So what I'm creating here is, this is a scene in a car dealership. Now what we're going to see here is the difference of how a thug person dressed like a thug would be treated in a car dealership versus a very well-dressed black person coming into a car dealership and how that person would be treated. And now, once we have both reenactments, then we're going to discuss something that's very crucial, and that is taking on the responsibility of perception. Okay? Sometimes how you dress and how you act has you perceived in a certain way. And if you're not in that perception, then maybe you don't want to represent yourself that way with your dress and groom. But we'll go through it. So in the first scenario, we're going to have two managers at the car dealership, and we're going to have a thug come into the car dealership. And we're going to notice how this person is treated. Let's watch.
Good.
Ooh, that's a steer.
Excuse me, do you need to find something?
Now, check out this stuff. All this brand new. Think about that.
Yeah, that's we have some really nice used automobiles in the back. More price range.
No, you know, you got the money to pay cash. I ain't nothing.
Well, normally we do credit check. Yes. So do you license? Let's start with that.
Why would I not have a license?
Oh, okay, great. Well, yeah.
Damn.
That's good. Yeah, so we'll see license and we'll do a credit check and then we'll talk and see where you can kind of, get what you need.
That ain't no problem.
Okay, great.
So we're paused there. Okay? So what happened in this situation that would identify stereotyping? What did we see take place? Yes.
The way she talk and act.
Yes. Okay. So really identify her as a thug is the word that's used for that. What else did we notice between the managers? What were key words that told you they were concerned about the legitimacy of this person and their safety? Yes.
Asked about the license.
Yes. So, credit check. So, key factors, it's like saying, the credit check is not going to come back good because of who you are and what you are. Okay? And then did we notice that moment of there's some used cars in the back? So basically saying, well, you're black. Typically black people can't afford it. Okay? So now, what I have to say in reference to that is, here's what I want you to do, because as soon as we see this, we get mad. We get mad that this happens. But what I want you to do is take this quick journey. If you were a car dealership owner, and let's say you had $2 million worth of inventory, okay? And let's say you lived in a wealthy white neighborhood. How would you feel if somebody has come into your car dealership with a persona that just makes you think twice? Then you would start to say, well, wait a minute, I got $2 million inventory here. Okay? So, everything can't be blamed on these two. Because now it's kind of saying, well, now, maybe this dog goes to Yale. And maybe this dog has the money to finance this car. But there's perception that is taking place. kind of understand some of it, even though we don't agree with it. Okay? And I say to my black friends, I'm black. And if I see a thug walking down the street, I would go on the opposite side of the street too. And I'm black. Okay? It's because what I see, I equate it with what I know. And that's gangsters and violence. And I don't mean that in a mean way. The reality is, this person is who they are. So, a person said to me, well, you heard the situation where the white police officer ran over the black guy and killed him with his police car. And so all of my black friends were upset about it. And I said to them, but what if that black person wasn't committing a crime? He would have never been there for the police officer to run him over. And then my friends were like, oh yeah, I never thought of that. So this is what we have to look at. I will never condone a police officer running over someone and killing them. That is wrong. But we also have to look at every aspect of it and say, don't live that life, you pretty much won't be running into the cops. Okay? And that doesn't take anything away from that black person, but it's helping us to put things in perspective. Racism exists, it's wrong. But we have to make sure we're doing everything that we can that we're not perceived in a certain way. Now, I'm going to take another person of a different decorum, and they're going to come in the car dealership, and let's see how this person is treated. Let's watch.
Oh, hi. Oh, hi. Welcome to our car dealership. Hi. Nice to meet you. Can we help you?
Oh yeah, I was just looking.
Well, yeah. We can help you. We have some new brand new cars that just came in. What are you looking for? Anything particular?
No, I just want a two-door, looking Ferrari kind of thing.
That's great. That's perfect. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we can help you. Do you sit down? Have a seat. Coffee.
But what are your price ranges?
We can work that out. How would you like to test drive one? Get behind the wheel and really feel that. Yeah, you'll love that. That'd be great.
Okay, so we're paused. Now, what have we noticed in this exchange? Yes.
And see, the dealership over the law receptive to their needs.
Practically, they were giving her a car, test drive for free, without even financing. And notice when she said, well, how much do these cost? She said, we'll work that out. Okay? Never was an issue, right? Now, this is what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that you can't be a thug. If that's who you are, that's who you are. Okay? I'm not saying that you have to pretend that you're this. But the point is, whoever you are, you have to understand there's a perception behind that. Okay? And that's what we have to look at with racism, is there's a perception behind that. Now, racism is wrong. It's wrong, and it's very prevalent in our world, and it exists. And it isn't just white people against blacks. It's all races. People have racial tendencies toward Indian people, black, people of all types of different races, whether it's Asian, whether it's Colombian, Spanish, go on. Yes.
Muslims at the moment are really picked on.
Yes. So what we want to do is, how do we conquer that? How do we conquer that? Now we're going to take the thug person, but this thug person is going to have a different approach this time. And let's see what happens. Okay? Let's watch.
Oh, great stuff. Hi. Hello. Good for you. Good. Are you? Hi. Hi. Cool. You looking for a car today?
Yeah, I'm looking for something like, I like this Range Rover over here.
This is nice. Just came in. That's really nice.
I
Yeah, we
know
like that
I've
one.
driven one, so I don't know yet, but hey, I like it, so I like it.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, maybe you want to take it out?
Sure, yeah, I definitely will.
So
be cognizant of where you are and what you're doing. And that influences these two people. They saw right past the hat to the back. They saw right past the skin color. And they just dealt with the person. Now, someone might say to me, oh, Christopher, that's great if we were in a perfect world. There are some people that are just racist. How do you deal with that? And we see it all the time. Okay? How do we deal with that? We can't change anyone. And as soon as we realize that, the better off we are. We can never change a person. We can only change ourselves. And one of the biggest concepts that everyone needs to know, no matter what race you are, is your reaction is what you can be in control of. Your reaction. I was walking in New Paltz. I was a mailman in New Paltz. And I was walking in a street, and there was these car load of white kids. And I was walking up the street with my mail bag, and I was putting mail in each box. And I kept hearing this kid leaning out the window yelling something. And I didn't know what it was. And when I got closer, he was yelling the N-word at me. And now I'm a 6-foot-tall black guy. And I tell my white friends, that gives me the right to beat you up. So I could have dropped my mail bag, ripped the door off the car, and ripped out his heart and mailed it to him. And I know I'm capable of that. But you know what I did? I kept walking and I kept delivering my mail. And this kid was out of his car and he was yelling and he looked at me and he saw that that N-word didn't cause a reaction and he was confused. And he just leaned back in his car and they left. You see, so we live in a world where people know the hot buttons and they're looking to push those buttons, and we have to make the decision to say, you know what, I can't change that person, but I can be in control of my response, and that's what's important. Now, we're going to do a segment here where we're going to change the script just a bit, because I want you to see something that you don't normally get to see in life, and that's black people being racist to white people. So we're going to have a restaurant right after this demo. All right, so we're going to have a restaurant, and this is a Mama Sue's restaurant, and a white person comes in to place an order. Let's watch.
Getting late, huh?
Did y'all finish up making collard greens and everything?
Yeah, we're all done with that. We're good.
We should be getting to the wrapping and coming in soon.
What is
What can we do for you? Or what can we not do for you?
Well, I heard about this new restaurant, and I figured I'd come in and check it out.
Menu over there.
I think it's
That's
great.
blocked.
What she
No,
want to do?
seriously.
Come on, she want to check it out.
You know how to say it.
Exactly. She like she ain't never had no cornbread, collard greens, or nothing, girl.
How would you
She
know?
so sad.
Okay, so we'll pause there. So now what did we see in this scenario that happened? What did we see? How was this white person treated?
Disrespectfully.
Very disrespectful. And what were you going to say before that?
And they thought they were better than her.
Yeah. Okay. Now usually what happens systematically with African American people is what? They've been persecuted. History proves that. So what happens sometimes with African American people is we automatically have anger toward white people, don't we? Oh my God, this white person is coming into my restaurant and now they want this honed down cooked food, right? And we immediately get upset about that. But here's what's interesting. She wasn't living in 1920. Okay? She wasn't living in 1930. So we're holding her responsible for things that she didn't do. Now, here's what's interesting. I know Erin personally, and she doesn't see color. So we're holding this white person who has no hatred whatsoever in her heart and doesn't see color, and we're holding her accountable for what happened in the past. Now, I am not saying go out and hug all white people. I'm not not saying go out and trust all white people or any race. We have to be selective and we have to be realistic about the world we live in. But what I am saying is, this is what we all have to think about. Okay, yes, I get pulled over by the police probably way more than she does. Okay, and it's not right. But let me tell you, if I was a police officer and I was dealing with the psycho people in this world, I might be a little bit trigger happy too. You see, when we start to put ourselves in each person's situation, sometimes a white cop is just trigger happy because he's evil. So we understand that, but we have to remember, wait a minute, why should I hate all white people? Okay? Because not all white people are bad. Not all Indian people, not all black people. We have to judge people by their character and not the person. How do you know a person is racist? When they choose not to judge a person by their character. It's one of the number one signs. Because if I'm not interested in the character of this person, then I'm going to judge them by what I see. And that's the skin color. So, how we react is how things happen. Now let's watch the same reenactment, and we're going to say these black people have realized she's not born in 1919. Let's watch.
Good day, girl, ready to close up down out here. Good. Hey, baby. Oh, we can get her clothes. You hungry? Come on in, we'll feed you.
Thanks, we got other great things. Oh, you guys just open.
Whatever here. Don't take for honey.
What?
Do you want veggies or meat?
You know what, Mama just get a whole little combo together. That way you taste everything. We done cooked up so much today. So it's like that. You don't wait too long. You see?
Okay, so we'll pause it. We'll pause it there. Now, what did we see happen here? Okay? They were about to close, but she said what? And notice the countenance never changed on her face. From the time she walked in all the way over to there, she felt welcome. Okay? These three people took something very powerful in life, and they affected it in the earth. And that was what? They didn't judge her by the color of her skin in history. Okay? And look what was accomplished. You got a customer, and that customer was respected. So, it's being practical about what we're dealing with in life. Now, there's differences. Let's take, I'm going to have myself, Ashley, and Ann. You're going to come on this side, and I'm going to take Jackie and Aaron. And what we have here is a representation, we're going to say, of two different races. And because they're singing awesome improvisational actors, they both are going to be white. Okay? And if we're not black over here, we're going to be black. Okay? So, now let's come down stage a bit. Okay? So now, what is the differences between us? Okay? And that's what you were talking about a little bit earlier, the differences between people. Okay? Yes?
Okay, like for years I've been like read books. What I've been doing is reading books. I seem like when I read about another country, another people, I seem to identify with that particular culture. So I got to get, like I said, when I have feelings for your group here, I have, when I read that book, I also get the feel of that particular culture of those people. So I identify, I know, like I would be identified. And it seemed to help me a lot to be able to relate to other races and other religions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So now, we're going to do a demographic difference. These are wealthy white people. And, well, let's change it. We're wealthy white people. They're poor black people. Oh. Okay. All right. She went white. She got rid of the hat. We're wealthy white people. They're poor black people. And let's notice the difference here. Let's watch. So, Stephen, would you be joining me at the tennis courts today?
Oh, yes, of course. Actually, I was going to bring my new rocket that I got.
Oh, nice,
Awesome.
nice. Really? Not bad.
just bought me a new private jet.
Oh, you're spoiled. You're just spoiled.
I say let's go to Cancun this weekend.
Oh, yeah, let's do that.
I don't want to go to Cancun.
Why not?
We should go to South Florida. Well, it's South Florida.
I like that. Yeah, that's good too.
Okay, so
Can you lend me like $50?
I don't know, I only got, I got $20.
Great, $20 will do.
I gotta use it for gas.
okay, so now we'll pause it there. This is what we see of everyday life. It is this huge chasm between us, of people. And now, that chasm can be different, a huge difference, a huge space. Now, it can be different depending on where you are. You can go to places where the black people are very wealthy, and the white people are poor. Okay? Depending on what country or what state you go into.
Only 1% of the world is it. It's 85 people of controlling, half the wealth.
Absolutely. So, here we go. From state to state, sometimes the tables are changed. Now, let's watch. Wealthy, black, and the poor white people. Statistics have stated that there's more white people on food stamps than black.
True.
Okay? So that means it is true that in some cases it's different. Okay? Let's watch.
So I just got back from the hospital. I had so many patients today. It was just absolutely crazy. My golf game got interrupted.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, look at this.
We gotta hurry up to the food stamp. We gotta go. I'm gonna stand in line and make
I tried to activate it.
Right.
I don't know what they said. It's all about activating.
leg quarters are on sale at Piggly Wiggly. You gotta go. You gotta go.
I want to go there. You know what? The food pantry's open later. Can we go there?
God, yes, I've been there 2 times.
I am like starving.
Okay, well, I need to like cigarettes. Now I can be
Well,
Well, out of all 3 of us, you're the only one that has a license, so you drive.
It's not a,
if you buy cigarettes, you can buy
it's
food.
suspended in car not even registered.
Oh, goodness. Well,
Okay? Now, we're going to close tonight by doing this. We're going to come together as a group of all races, and we're going to take you on a journey of racial discrimination via African American people, blacks, other different races, Asian, Colombian, Spanish, Indian, okay? But we're going to close with what is most important, and that's conquering racism. Okay? So, let's watch. You know, there's those black people again. I don't know why they think they got a right to move in our neighborhood. Because as soon as they move in, there goes the rats, there goes the roaches, that loud music.
try to sell our house now before it gets too late.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna go over and take over.
God.
I think it's all right. So I knew. I think we'll call her. Oh, yeah, I know she's black.
Hey, I got that.
And what's with these black people in their names?
I know.
Sharonda and Shaquanda and Tawika.
Multiple kids.
Whatever happened to Susan, Stephen?
Really?
You know, that stuff we can pronounce.
That would be nice. But then they all do drugs. That's why they do drugs. All of
Oh
them.
my god.
And they have diseases we haven't heard of.
Oh my god, seriously.
Yep, you know, once they skin gets in sometimes, that's what they mean.
That's right.
Okay, here we go. Here comes these white people. Just because our restaurant is called Mama Sue's,
Oh no.
they think they gotta walk in here for some collard greens.
I know they
They
try to
call
sell
us
those
bro.
accents.
And I know what it's like to walk up that way.
And here she is. Have you ever noticed how white people, when they're talking to black people, it's all of a sudden, bro,
Yeah.
and what's up, man?
Hey, sis.
I like your collard greens.
That's my sister.
Yeah.
I know, you're bro.
Okay.
Seriously.
I bet you,
She said,
all
okay.
your friends can be. I'm gonna harm you because I'm talking. I don't know anything.
Yeah.
because I'm the new manager.
And I actually ate some lobster last night with my wife.
No, I am Puerto Rican, not Mexican. Excuse me.
I am African American, not colored.
No, my name is not Eduardo, okay? Chill out.
I don't always nod my head when I talk to people. I'm a very educated young lady.
You know, it doesn't matter what people want to see me as. It's really about what I choose to see myself as. The stereotypes, I don't fit into any of your categories. Because it's called a person who has self-respect, pride, and dignity. And I'm going to be whatever I want in life. And I'm going to do whatever I want in life. Whether it's a degree, whether it's the president, no matter what it is. I will do what I want to do. And you know why? Because I have only one thing in my vision. And that is success.
You know what? Not what they call you. It's what you answer to.
Looks are very deceiving. Very deceiving.
Thank you very much. Okay. So what we're going to do to close is we do what's called a collage. We're going to skip the other part and just go into the collage. Okay? And the collage is a compilation of everything that we've talked about tonight. If I forget something, it's only because you're special. That's why. Okay? So we will start a collage. Let's watch. You know, I have this rocky relationship with this snowball. Sent me all over the place for parts, but in the end, I put the snowblower in the dark room.
You know, he's not really gone. I am hoping. You know why? Right here. You're my best friend. I'm so happy for you, but I'm really gonna miss you.
It is so unfair that I call for help, then I get abused.
Go! Go! I don't care if you're running people over. I'm gonna make my hair for you. What are you doing?
You know, all I wanted to do was go to work. But somebody kidnapped my car and mailed me a $65 bill.
You think this, and I think this, and that's okay. And I think we just have to agree to differ. This is an awesome trip you're going on. I can't wait for you to go and tell me all about it. True friends are so hard to come by. When you actually get one, you gotta grasp it, hold them tight.
Dad, so unexpected and such a difficult day. But I'm gonna try and look on the bright side. Do something that makes me smile, maybe even laugh.
I so enjoyed that show. Oh wait, you're not here with me to show this stuff.
Is it spring yet? Is it spring yet? Is it spring yet? Ooh, it's spring! Come on, nature! You're so picky. You're okay with the fluffy snow, but not the wet snow.
It's so difficult, having a best friend and then having them leave and being happy for them because they're gonna be
Actually, I'm a woman and I want to gain weight.
Not only did I have to pay $65 for the toll, but I was also late to work. So stupid chair just keeps breaking everywhere. Oh, get a new chair!
So, you two are cats, right? That's a mouse. Cats, they get mouse. Go, no, not be friends, get the mouse.
I showed up here because this place is where I get my therapy.
If you don't press on that gas right now and take it to 100, the speed limit is only 60, and you're only going 95. I want to get to where we're going, and let's go now.
So, you like this drive, eh? Look at the deer. I think we should stop and count them. Number 7. Oh, look! There's a hawk. I think we should watch. Who cares? We'll get there.
Whatever you need, I want you to know you're my friend and I'm there for you.
So spring is here and I'm so happy, but I really don't want to go swimming.
Okay, swing dancing. Can I do it solo? Because I don't want to dance with all those weirdos. Alright, got it. What do you mean, thanks for carrying me? You're my friend. It's nothing.
Okay, this is really confusing. 2 cats and a mouse exist in my house. Let's see. 2 cats, 1 mouse. Really?
I'm so excited about my weight. Oh my God. Yes, I gained. Yes, gained. 10 pounds.
Hockey time! Come on, go! Hit the little black thing, the ball or the thing that's on ice. Come on, let's go! Oh, hockey now.
Just got news that a family member passed away. But you know what? I know he would want me to have a good laugh.
In a world of conflict and chaos, someone has to step up and start the peace.
Oh, you like that car? How about you take it for a test drive? Okay, do I have to show you the manual? Snow blower. Snow blower. Not sit there in the snow.
Let's stop looking at others and judging and start embracing.
You know what? Doesn't matter what people see when they see me when it comes to skin color. What matters is what I see. And I see a successful individual. So thank you guys so much. That concludes our show. We do have some food Thanks so much. Get some of this food.
Not exactly sure, but.
Thanks so much for coming.